This is just going to be showing the setup that I used for rank 3 in the previous rotation, and if you're watching this, just make sure you keep in mind this is not for the current rotation, this is for the previous one. I did record something for it, I just never uploaded it, and this rotation I'd say is going to look a little bit different because of the 1 ML hero requirement, but I'll upload something for that eventually. I can say now that after this is over, the setup was like not great, just because the most of this damage difference here is because I was using Seal of Capture on Robin to apply the 8th burn instead of Aramintha S1. If you use Aramintha S1, it's way better because then you also can swap Robin over to a damage artifact, so I would say that's where most of my damage loss came from. But anyways, this was good enough for rank 3, and you can take a look at the clip that I already had recorded. Let's get into the stats and everything. We've got Robin, Aramintha, Roana, Kiris, and we can start off with Roana. So Roana, you want her a decent amount of bulk, 124 speed for speed tuning purposes, and then 100% crit chance. I have her on Warhorn to boost Aramintha and Robin's attack. So if you need sustain, then use a sustain artifact. Just keep in mind you will be losing CR, so you'll have to adjust your speed a little bit. Other sustain things, of course, I'm not self-imprinted. You could self-imprint if you need the HP. And then her bulk, don't max your HP. You want HP and defense because this isn't Elena. The boss does not ignore your defense. Your defense matters a lot in you surviving. Rather than stacking HP, you should look to max out your effective HP, which is just HP and defense. Just a bunch of HP and defense. If you look at her stats here. I have some pieces with... I think I have a better ring than this, but I just gave her, like, yeah, crit, tank. That's it. This crit chance, this crit damage, effectiveness, and F-res, and attack all wasted, so you could do better than this. And it's worth mentioning that if you are struggling with tank right sides, you might need to reevaluate how you look at gear. I'm just going to mention this again because a lot of people are rolling their right side tank pieces not the right way, or being told to roll it not the right way. So you might want to reconsider how you look at your right side gear, because this started with double flats, 24 base ES, which a lot of people are being told to throw out. That is not throw out gear, that is good gear. So it depends, you can check my equipment score video for that. And also, don't be too greedy with your Roana S3. You do have to rip it relatively early in the break phase. I would say by the second turn in the break phase, you probably want to be ripping S3 just for the healing, because this is her only sustained skill besides her S2. If you don't use her S3, she's going to die. You can also time the revive, so that she revives on the turn that she dies in the third phase if you want. Next up, we can take a look at Kiris. I will mention Kiris, I put her in the front just for fun. If you have Roana imprints, you might want Kiris up here for the HP, but it also doesn't really matter what her stats are. I built her damage for fun, but it's not really necessary to have her be damage. You can just give her bulk. As long as she has 100% crit chance, you're good. And I gave her 161 speed for speed tuning purposes. My Roana also S3s right after Harsetti S3 in the third phase, so that keeps her alive. If you have to tank an extra S1, you need a little bit more HP than this. Actually, I checked. Using just Roana's imprint would be enough for Kiris to live that S3 into S1 hit. And now we have Superproof Water Shooter as the artifact. This is for the attack boost on Aramintha and Robin. If you want, or if you have a plus 30 Renewed Will, you can use Renewed Will. It does give more attack. It's actually a pretty significant increase in damage because so much of our damage from burns. But mine isn't maxed, so I didn't use it. Kind of sucks just having to deal with the RNG. Next up is Aramintha. Aramintha, I also just gave her a bunch of attack with 100% crit chance, and then 151 speed for speed tuning purposes. Cruel Mischief as her artifact, just to max out her attack as much as possible. And then Imprint, Team Imprint, if you have any. I considered pushing her to SSS because I have the Araminthas, but we're just going to leave it at this. And that's about it for Aramintha. There's not too much to say, it's just max out attack, 100% crit chance, 151 speed. Oh, for E! You can use the Detonate or the Ignite one, or they're both called Ignite, the Detonate or the Burn one. I'm using the Burn one for a slight RNG damage boost in Phase 3, which you'll see when we get there. But it doesn't really matter too much, you're probably more worried about your speed tuning than anything else. Lastly is Robin. Robin, max out her attack. I have her near base speed, and of course, if you're a different speed, it'll change your speed tunings, so it's something to keep in mind. But she is literally just give her as much attack as humanly possible. And for artifact, I gave her Seal of Capture. This is just because Robin S2 is 3 burns, Aramintha S3 is 4 burns, or it's 2 burns, and we use it twice, so it's 4 burns. So that's 7 burns total. We still have room for 1 more burn. You could use her personal artifact, but her personal artifact is only a 1-turn burn, if I remember correctly. Let's go check. I don't even have it. Her personal artifact, I'm pretty sure, is a 1-turn burn, and her S3, or her Seal of Capture, is a 2-turn burn. So this is just going to... I'm checking right now. It is a 1-turn burn, and also it needs plus 30 to have a 100% chance to proc. Seal of Capture is just better if you can tune it. But the 2-turn burn, though it is harder to use because I mentioned in the previous setup, we have 1 hit of leeway. Using Seal of Capture with Robin is our 1 hit of leeway, and we have 0 room for error in the break phase if you use this. But it is the highest damage, I'm pretty sure. Higher than Dux Noctis even. So this is the Robin gear. And that's it for everyone's stats, and now we can take a look at the run. I'll talk about it during the run, but I forgot to mention at the very start. It's worth looking at your starting CRs, of course, because there are 2 speed RNG points that I noticed in the run at least. You can check your actual numbers here, as usual, but at some point in the first break phase, which I will talk about this once the run actually happens, in the first break phase, Aramintha needs to cut Robin. So if you see Robin like all the way up here, 5% probably, and then Aramintha way in the back, that's probably not happening. And then also, Roana needs to cut Aramintha at some point, and this one's actually not that tight. I think I've seen a 4% gap before, so I think it's literally if Aramintha maxes and Roana minerals the starting CR, then it happens. So that one probably won't be that much of an issue. Just make sure they're not like, if you see it happening, then maybe reset. Otherwise, it's mainly the Aramintha Robin one. Just make sure Robin isn't super far ahead of Aramintha at the very start. So starting off this fight, we're going to wait 1 turn with Kiris, and then on her next turn, we're going to let her S3 and then flick this back off. This is just because my Robin was taking her turns at a really bad time during the pre-break phase, the barrier phase, and I didn't feel like regearing, so we just did this instead. This CR pushes Robin a little bit, and what it does is Kiris getting her extra turn, plus Robin gets 37.5% CR push, I think, from someone doing an extra turn, and then 75% from the extra attack. Essentially gives us 2 extra turns, and that pushes up Harsetti an extra, about 20%. I think she caps out at one point, so it's not exactly 20. But this changes Harsetti's position, and it works out well for us. So now, we are just going to S2. That's our first strip. And Harsetti cutting Robin here is why we did that Kiris S3. I needed Harsetti to cut Robin here, because if Robin doesn't get cut there, then her S2 here, she has Stigma, it doesn't push her 100%, you won't be able to actually detonate the burns in time. And then here, I'm actually going to hit the ad once. This is just prepping it for the break phase, because it remembers its count, and sometimes you need it at certain counts going into the break phase. So now we're going to hit the ad again, hit the ad one more time, and now we can arm into S3, and that's why we prepped it, so we could break the stealth on this turn. And I'm going to actually Robin S1 directly into Harsetti. This is to get our Seal Capture stack. And now we are going to hit the ad with Roana, because it's 1. Kiris has her AoE, but we're going to set up the stealth first. That's 3, and now we can S3 and S2. So our next AoE is Roana, or not Roana, it's Aramintha. Aramintha, Robin, Kiris is going to be our 3 hits into the ad. So we're going to skip Roana's attack, plus we kind of need the healing anyways. You can't stall too long with Roana S3. I'd say roughly about this turn is when you want to use it. We have our AoE, but we're going to hit the ad once. Get the stealth going first. Now we can Aramintha S2. And we can do 1, 2, and this is a speed RNG point, I think. It gets kind of close. If Robin cuts Aramintha, then this is bad. I forgot to mention at the start, you should check if your Robin is too far ahead of Aramintha or not. But now we can hit the ad one more time. And we can break the stealth with Robin S2. We have no more hits left on the boss because we used Robin S1 on it already, so we have to make sure we don't hit it except for our important AoEs. So that was Robin S1, now it's Kiris S1. And then Roana S1. Now we can use our S3. And that is full burn stacks. It's worth remembering that Kiris, when she uses her S3, will push Robin up if her S3 is on cooldown. That's actually why we didn't run the Aramintha Detonate EE earlier, because if you detonate the burns, and well, we hit the ad with Aramintha anyways, but if you don't have Robin's S3 on cooldown going into the break phase, it's going to change your entire tuning. Now we can extend all the burns, and extend and detonate them. And we can just turn on auto. Now we're just chilling until the barrier phase. Depending on your setup, if you're not copying mine exactly, it's worth remembering the amount of hits the ad has. The ad has 0 hits for me, so I don't have to do anything about it. But you can, of course, like prep the ad, like I mentioned, in the first barrier phase. You could also prep it here. There's another strat I'll do in the third phase, which involves messing around with the ad, which you'll see in a little bit. Here again, we're going to strip the first Sovereign's mana. And now we can S1. S1. Now we're actually going to hit the ad. This is again just prepping it for the break phase. We're going to Robin S2. And it's only 75% push, but there's nobody that's going to cut her. So we're fine here. And now we can detonate. So we're going to Roana S1 the ad. And since Aramintha's taking our turn now, that's why we had to hit it twice. We just wanted to reset the stealth here. Kiris is going to hit the ad. Robin's going to hit directly into Harsetti for the burn stack. And then Kiris is going to S1 the ad again. Roana's going to S3 to skip her hit. Then Aramintha can hit the ad one more time, and now we can use Kiris S2 to break it out of stealth. So we've got Aramintha, Robin, and this is another speed RNG point. I'll probably go back and add in the explanation for speed RNGs to start. It's just really bad, like worst case speed RNG scenario. Aramintha can cut Roana here. It's probably not going to happen, but it is worth mentioning. If Aramintha cuts here, you kind of have to reset. But for now, we'll just hit the ad. Now we can reveal it one more time. Kiris hit the ad. Roana hit the ad. At that point, they were pretty much right on each other. That doesn't matter, because we're just going to S3 here anyways. Doesn't matter if it's stealthed or not. And then Kiris is going to S1 the ad one more time. Now we put it into stealth, so that's why it didn't really matter. We'll reveal it with S2 here. And of course, we have to hit the ad. Now we can reveal it. Or, not reveal it, we're just going to extend all the burns. There's the detonation. So starting off here, we're actually going to hit this ad a few times. This is another strat. It's not prepping the ad because we're actually just going to max it out. We don't want to actually hit 60% here just for tuning reasons. So we're going to waste 3 hits on the ad. And this is going to make it so that we don't instantly enter the break phase after we break the barrier. This is used really just if your rotation does not work. It's something you can try. You don't necessarily have to go to 3-2. You could stall 2 hits. If you hit the ad twice, you'll have 65%. If you hit it 3 times, you'll have 70%. So this is the reason I did it. My Aramintha and Robin go immediately. That is not great for me because I need a bit of stalling. I need one more turn. I need Aramintha to take another turn rather so that she can get her cooldowns up a bit faster. So we get around that by just not entering break phase immediately. You see it's at 10%. And my Robin, or my Roana lives here, but like I mentioned this in previous videos rather, it doesn't really matter if she dies here because we're going to enter the break phase fine. It would change your rotations of course, but you can just 3-man your break phase. Roana is kind of just there. We'll S1 onto Harsetti, and this is actually an RNG point. It's a slight damage increase if you land an S1 burn here, so we'll see if we hit it or not. Nice, so we got the burn. That isn't it's not a massive damage increase, it's just something. That's why I'm also not on the Detonate E, because the Detonate E does give you a little bit of damage during the main phases, probably 100k damage adding up over the whole run, but this little burn here is going to increase our damage more. So now I'm going to hit the ad, and then Robin is going to hit the ad. Next up is Kiris. And we didn't prep it this time because we had 3 people go before Aramintha, so no need to prep the ad. We're gonna skip Roana's turn here. Here's S1 the ad. So here we have 2 on the ad. We're going to hit directly into Harsetti. Gives us 1 burn stack. And also, Roana will be our 3rd hit into the ad, so we can reveal the stealth with Kiris S2 or S3 S2. Now it's Aramintha, Roana, and we're actually going to just drip S2 here. Normally you would hold it for revealing the stealth and stuff, but looking at our turn orders, it's going to go Kiris into Robin, and Robin has her AoE ready. If we hit the ad, it's going to go into stealth. So we're just going to not hit it. Or with a single target attack, rather. This will be our single target attack. It's in stealth, and Robin can reveal it. So now we're going to hit it one more time, Aramintha S3 to break it out. And you can see the boss is already at 9 debuffs, so we only get 1 burn here, but we just shifted the first burn up earlier. And that burn got extended by 2 more turns. So it does end up being a net damage increase, even though we camp it out on burns. I think if you had like a better setup, you would have Aramintha go before Robin. That would net you 1 extra turn of burn damage, because then it would be 2 turn burns here and then Robin's burns here, but I'm not gonna figure that out. Anyways, now we are going to just S3.
준비됐습니다.
Robin pushes up,
몸좀 풀어볼까?
and we can detonate.
조용히 살고 싶었나? 재미있구나. 그 덧없는 빨간